Welcome to Americana Archives. Today's headline is The Rescue of the Donner Party. It says, readers of Bret Harte's Gabriel Conroy will remember the following footnote, which occurs in connection with the author's description of scenes in Starvation Camp. I fear I must task the incredulous reader's fervor patience by calling attention to what may perhaps prove the most literal and thoroughly attested fact of this otherwise fanciful chronicle. The condition and situation of the ill-famed Donner Party, then an unknown, unheralded cavalcade of immigrants, starving in an unfrequented pass of the Sierras, was first made known to Captain Yount of Napa in a dream. The Spanish records of California show that the relief party which succored the survivors was projected upon this spiritual information. In the thorough scrutiny to which everything relating to the heroic age of California has been subjected, there are probably few beyond the mounds who are not familiar with the details of the above expedition. There are many in the East, however, who will be interested in Captain Yount's own version of the strange occurrence, as related by him to the late Reverend Dr. Horace Bushnell. We quote from Nature and the Supernatural, pages 475 to 6. As I sat by the fire one stormy November night in a hotel parlor in the Napa Valley of California, there came in a most venerable and benignant-looking person with his wife, taking their seats in the circle. The stranger, as I afterward learned, was Captain Yount, a man who came over into California a trapper more than 40 years ago. Here he has lived, apart from the great world and its questions, acquiring an immense landed estate and becoming a kind of acknowledged patriarch in the country. His tall, manly person and his gracious paternal look, as totally unsophisticated in the expression as if he had never heard of a philosophic doubt or question in his life, marked him as the true patriarch. The conversation turned, I know not how, on spiritism and the modern necromancy, and he discovered a degree of inclination to believe in the reported mysteries. His wife, a much younger and apparently Christian person, intimated that probably he was predisposed to this kind of faith by a very peculiar experience of his own, and evidently desired that he might be drawn out by some intelligent discussion of his queries. At my request, he gave me his story. About 6 or 7 years previous, in a midwinter's night, he had a dream, in which he saw what appeared to be a company of immigrants arrested by the snows of the mountains and perishing rapidly by cold and hunger. He noted the very cast of the scenery, marked by a huge perpendicular front of white rock cliff. He saw men cutting off what appeared to be treetops rising out of deep gulfs of snow. He distinguished the very features of the persons and the look of their particular distress. He woke, profoundly impressed with the distinctness and apparent reality of his dream. At length, he fell asleep and dreamed exactly the same dream again. In the morning, he could not expel it from his mind. Falling in shortly with an old hunter comrade, he told him the story and was only the more deeply impressed by his recognizing, without hesitation, the scenery of the dream. This comrade came over the Sierra by the Carson Valley Pass and declared that a spot in the pass answered exactly to his description. By this, the unsophisticated patriarch was decided. He immediately collected a company of men with mules and blankets and all necessary provisions. The neighbors were laughing, meantime, at his credulity. No matter, said he, I am able to do this, and I will, for I verily believe that the fact is according to my dream. The men were sent into the mounds, 150 miles distant, directly to the Carson Valley Pass, and there they found the company, in exactly the condition of the dream, and brought in the remnant alive. A gentleman present said, You need have no doubt of this, for we Californians all know the facts and the names of the families brought in, who now look upon our venerable friend as a kind of a savior. These names he gave, and the places where they reside, and I found afterward that the California people were ready everywhere to second his testimony. This article originally came from Scribner for April. This story came from the great state of Missouri, being reported in the Iron County Register on March 30th, 1876. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. and we will see you next time on Americana Archives.